Darkness hides secrets the world was never meant to uncover. Tonight, we'll delve into 5 unsolved mysteries so chilling, they'll make you question everything. Be warned. Some questions are better left unanswered. The disappearance of the Sodder children. December 24th, 1945. Fayetteville, West Virginia. A quiet Christmas Eve turned into a night of tragedy and mystery that would haunt a family and the world for decades. This is the chilling story of the Sodder children's disappearance, a case that raises more questions than answers and lingers in the shadowy corners of history. George and Jenny Sodder were a hardworking couple with 10 children. On that fateful Christmas Eve, the family gathered to celebrate the holiday. But by morning, their home was reduced to ashes, and 5 of their children were gone. Not dead, but gone. Around 1 a.m., Jenny Sodder woke up to the smell of smoke. She rushed to wake George and their children. Flames were consuming their home. George, Jenny, and 4 of the children escaped. But Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, aged 5 to 14, were nowhere to be found. George tried everything to save them. He broke a window to re-enter the burning home, slicing his arm. He searched for the ladder he always kept outside to climb to their bedroom. It was gone. He tried to start his trucks to use them as a platform. They wouldn't start. Everything that could go wrong did. By morning, the house was reduced to rubble. The fire had burned for less than 45 minutes. Yet, there were no remains of the 5 children. No bones, no ashes, nothing. The official investigation concluded that the children had died in the fire. But George and Jenny refused to believe it. They noticed strange details that would unravel a disturbing web of questions. For one, no human remains were found, even though bones should have survived the fire. Jenny conducted her own experiment, burning animal bones to see if they would be completely destroyed. They never were. Even more chilling, a local crematorium confirmed that bones wouldn't have disintegrated in such a short and relatively low-temperature fire. The phone line to the house had been cut. A man was seen stealing a block and tackle from the property that night. And days earlier, a stranger had visited the Sodder home, warning George that his house would go up in smoke because of his outspoken political views against Benito Mussolini. In 1968, Jenny received a photograph in the mail. On the back were cryptic words: Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, ill boys, a 90132 or 35. The boy in the photo bore an uncanny resemblance to Louis. George died in 1969, Jenny in 1989. They never stopped searching for their children. The case remains unsolved to this day. Were the Sodder children victims of a fire or something far more sinister? What really happened that Christmas Eve in 1945? Did someone take the Sodder children, leaving their family in eternal torment? Or did they perish in the fire, leaving behind only ashes and unanswered questions? The truth remains buried, somewhere between the flames and the shadows. The Taos hum. Have you ever heard a sound that you couldn't explain? A low, constant hum that seems to vibrate in the very air around you, gnawing at your sanity? Some people in a small, isolated town in New Mexico claim to experience just that. A sound so unnatural it has driven some to madness. This is the mystery of the Taos hum. Taos, New Mexico, a quaint town surrounded by the vast desert and the towering mountains. It's a place where the air is still, the nights are long, and the sky stretches forever. But beneath its tranquil surface lies a strange phenomenon that has plagued its residents for over 25 years. We talked to a resident and he said, "It started years ago. At first, I thought it was my hearing, but my neighbors heard it too. Some of us can't sleep. We can't think. It's like it gets inside you. You can't escape it." The hum, often described as a persistent drone or buzz, has been heard by a significant portion of Taos population. But it isn't limited to the town itself. People in nearby areas, from as far as 100 miles away, have reported hearing it too. And no one can explain its origin. For years, scientists have tried to uncover the source of the hum. Some believe it's linked to industrial equipment like power plants or military installations. Others think it could be caused by underground geological activity, or perhaps even electromagnetic waves. But every investigation has ended in frustration. There's simply no conclusive explanation. We've recorded frequencies and we've searched for any environmental factors that could be causing it. But nothing matches up. The hum defies logic. It's as if it's coming from nowhere or everywhere. As the years passed, the effects on the people of Taos became more apparent. Sleepless nights, headaches, nausea, and even paranoia. Some residents claim the hum has driven them to the edge, unable to live with the relentless noise. One woman, after months of hearing it, was driven to such madness that she disappeared. Some say she was taken by the hum itself. Is it possible that the hum is more than just a sound? Could it be a weapon or a force beyond our comprehension? Some believe the hum is connected to secret government experiments, using sound waves as a method of mind control. Others suspect it could be something ancient, an otherworldly presence trying to communicate with us in a way we can't understand. Some say the hum is slowly driving the town mad. Others believe it's a warning from something far older than humanity itself. What if it's a sign of an impending doom? Or perhaps it's a signal from another dimension, a gateway opening in the very fabric of reality. The question remains, why Taos? The Dyatlov Pass incident. On the night of February 2nd, 1959, 9 experienced hikers ventured into the Ural Mountains in Soviet Russia. What was supposed to be a simple expedition turned into one of the most chilling mysteries in history. This is the terrifying story of the Dyatlov Pass incident. And the truth may be far more disturbing than you could ever imagine. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group was composed of university students and graduates, all with a deep passion for hiking and mountaineering. They set out for a 10-day trek through the snow-covered wilderness. But they would never make it back alive. They reached a remote area known as Dyatlov Pass, nestled deep within the mountains. But then, something went horribly wrong. By February 26th, search parties were dispatched when the hikers failed to send a telegram as planned. What they would discover in the coming days would defy explanation, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. The hikers' tent was found abandoned and torn open from the inside, as if they had fled in a panic. Their belongings were left behind, but the most disturbing thing was the state of the hikers themselves. They were found scattered across the snow, some of them barefoot, others in various stages of undress. It was clear they had been trying to escape. But from what? 2 of the hikers were found with broken bones, as if they had fallen from a great height, but there were no signs of external injury. One victim's eyes were missing, and another had their tongue removed, with no explanation as to why or how it happened. The horror was just beginning. The investigation into the Dyatlov Pass incident turned up more questions than answers. Some theorized an avalanche, others suggested an animal attack, but the lack of concrete evidence left the case shrouded in mystery. Even more chilling were the theories that suggested something unnatural. Some believe the hikers stumbled upon something ancient, something that shouldn't have been disturbed. The surrounding area was rich with local legends, tales of a mountain spirit, a creature that could drive people to madness. Others claimed they had been involved in a military experiment, something sinister, hidden deep in the mountains. Others speculate that the hikers were victims of an attack by a mysterious, unknown force. But no one can say for sure. All we know is that something horrifying happened that night, and it's still out there, waiting. 9 lives lost, but the mystery remains unsolved. The Dyatlov Pass incident is a nightmare that will never be put to rest. Perhaps, just perhaps, there's something that the world is not meant to know. Something that should never be uncovered. Because some doors, once opened, can never be closed again. Remember, the mountains are not silent. They whisper of things better left forgotten. The vanishing village of Angikuni Lake. In the early 1930s, Angikuni was a quiet, remote village, home to a close-knit Inuit community. But in the winter of 1930, something happened that would forever shroud this place in mystery. A disappearance so bizarre, so chilling, it has become a dark legend in the annals of the unexplained. On November 23, 1930, a trapper named Joe LaBelle, who had been familiar with the area for years, arrived at the village. What he found was a ghost town, not a single soul, not a single trace of life. No animals, no people, just an empty village frozen in time. It was as though the inhabitants had vanished in the blink of an eye. But there was something far worse waiting to be discovered. Inside the homes, there was food cooking on stoves, still warm, but no one around to eat it. A fire still burned in one of the hearths. It was as though the people had vanished mid-action, leaving everything behind. And then he found the bodies. Inside the largest hut, Joe LaBelle found the bodies of several villagers, frozen in place. But there was something strange. The bodies were completely untouched. No signs of violence, no blood, no signs of struggle, just lifeless forms, as if the very essence of their being had been snatched away. And as he examined the bodies, he realized the bodies were not of the people he had known. None of the bodies were of the villagers he had known. They were strangers, pale and gaunt, as if they had never been part of this world. The villagers, gone without a trace. The more LaBelle searched, the more unsettling details emerged. No one had seen the villagers leave. No one knew where they had gone. And worse yet, the local authorities couldn't explain it, but the mystery deepened further. As local authorities began their investigation, they discovered that this wasn't the first strange disappearance. Over the years, other unexplained events had been reported around Angikuni Lake. People had vanished without a single clue left behind. And then there were rumors of a dark force, something ancient and malicious, that had haunted the lake for centuries. Angikuni Lake remains silent, a haunting reminder of a mystery that still cannot be explained. And those who venture too close to its shores sometimes never return. Perhaps the lake itself holds the answer, but it's a secret best left undisturbed. These mysteries remind us that the world is full of shadows, places and events we may never fully understand. If these tales have left you with chills, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories that will haunt your nights. And tell me, which of these unsolved mysteries keeps you awake at night? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.